Question number 2, if I'm able to provide stability, security, protection, and protection for a woman in a family, why do I need to get married? Right? So if I have the ability to provide a stable home, to provide security, protection for a woman, if I'm giving her those things, why do I have to go through this, event, is what this question makes it sound like, of marriage?
Yeah.
What would you say? Or you want me to tackle that first?
I'll start this one. You can take the next one first.
Okay.
So what I would say to that person who asked that question, and also this is also a really, really good question, because I feel like this is very common for a lot of people, our demographic and our age group or whatever the case may be. That just seems like more people tend to like kind of walk this line and live this kind of life where you do a lot of things that are indicative of a marriage, even though you're not married.
Yeah.
And the first thing I would say to that is, I have a question, but why not marriage? What is your aversion to marriage? And in that,
especially if you're doing all those things already. Yeah.
And in that question, I'm going to take some liberty and assume something. And this assumption comes from conversations that I've had with people, and just and just what I've seen in a lot of instances, is that we as a people, and I'm speaking specifically to men my age, older and younger, we're very scared of commitment for one reason or another. And the God of the Bible is one of commitment. He seals his relationships with his people in covenants. You see in New Testament, Old Testament, and specifically in Jesus, like our relationship with him, it's tied in Jesus. So
right.
I'm fucking getting off and I'm kind of going on a tangent, but what I'm trying to say is that I don't want people to be afraid of the commitment. Like, I don't know. I'm not answering the question, but I'm still firm on like, why not marriage? So what is your aversion to marriage and commitment?
Yeah. I think this question refuses the order of things, and it puts the requirements of being a husband before the commitment, right? Marriage is about the commitment, right? Providing in all of that, in security and stability, are part of the way that you live up to the commitment.
Yeah.
So the commitment is always on top.
Yeah.
One of my favorite verses that really shows us this is in Proverbs 6, and it is verse 26. For the price of a prostitute is only a loaf of bread, but a married woman hunts down a precious life.
Yeesh.
Right? And so you can provide stability, finances, security, all of that to a prostitute. But the difference between a married woman is that the life that you're building together and the commitment that you've made to one another, that is what drives the quality of your relationship.
100%.
And if you have not made that commitment, everybody has it in the back of their head, well, I can leave out of this at any time.
Yeah.
Right, I ain't made no commitment to you. I said I'll try this out.
Yeah.
I'll do this. And so I think that that's why you step over into that idea of being married. And let's just keep it flat out real. A lot of the stuff that people are doing nowadays, if you believe in the God of the Bible, you ain't supposed to be doing that stuff unless you're married anyway. Right? And so a reason that you go and get married outside of the commitment is just about holiness and being right before God. Right? God doesn't want me. And I think that's foolish. I'm not providing and giving security and doing all this for a woman that I have no commitment to.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that is simping at his... I just called them simps. I'm up here acting a fool. I mean, bruh, like, what are we doing here? Right?
Yeah.
You know, and so I think that that's the big thing for me is...
One more thing, I'm sorry to cut you off before we move on to the next question. It is that, like, of course, my question still stands, so why not married? But it's also what you had said about, like, how we put like all these other things before the commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Like you providing and you like giving security and all those things are ways in which you live up to the commitment. But we just kind of like try to separate that or kind of get around that. But I'm thinking about like, if I truly believe that like who God is and his omniscient and he knows all his ways are above mine and so on and so forth, then there has to be some rhyme or reason as to why he created the institution of marriage. Like there is something to that. And whether or not you know it or how you feel about it, like if you say that God is who he says he is, then you would want to honor that, whatever he placed in this institution of marriage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to say that before I forget.
And I think it cheapens the covenant. So I'll do all this for you, but I'm scared to commit to you.
Yeah.
To me, that says, well, I just want to make sure I keep an exit door.
Yeah.
Just in case. And of course, people can get divorced, but it's a whole lot harder to go through a divorce than it is to just go through a breakup.
Yeah.
Right? You know, just in the hurdles that you have to climb and the conversations that you have to have. So those are a few reasons.
Great question.